Although there has already been a video on the different types of questions available in the form builder, Likert questions are the most complex and widely used of all the question types. Therefore, we felt that Likert questions deserved their very own video. When adding Likert questions to your form, it's important to have an idea of how you want the question to appear. There are 3 different ways to display a Likert question. The first and most common way of displaying Likert questions is by grid. Choosing the grid option will make the answers appear along the top of the list of questions. Each individual question using the same grid as the previous question will appear below the Likert header label or score. A standalone Likert question, however, will remove your ability to add headers to your scale and will be displayed separated with the question text above the Likert scale. Vertical standalone will flip the scale to appear vertically with the question text at the top and each possible answer on the scale underneath, starting with the answer furthest to the left. Now that you've seen the different styles in action, let's build a Likert question. First, let's move this mandatory question toolbar out of the way, then hover under the comments question, and then choose Click to add question or text here. Next, click Likert question as my element type, and type the question in the question box. Next is where you choose how you want to display the question. For now, let's leave it as a grid. Assuming this is a brand new scale that has not already been used on the form, go ahead and create the scale. You can do this by clicking into the boxes and entering the scale. Let's say this is a scale of 1 to 3. Click on the first box to the left and enter 1, then the middle to enter 2, and the right to enter 3. It's important to always put the most negative answer to the left and the most positive answer to the right. If it's possible that the person who is answering this question might not be able to answer it, you can add an NA, or not applicable. To do so, click Add NA. It's important to use this option rather than adding it to the boxes, as an NA will attribute no score to the question rather than a 0, which would affect the overall score. You can change the wording of the NA by clicking on the box and typing your new wording. Click away and it will automatically save. If you want to add another option to your scale, click the plus button to the right of the 3. A new box will appear and you can click on it to add your next option. Let's add a 4. If, however, you realize that you have too many boxes, hover over the one you'd like to remove to reveal the minus sign above it. Click on it to remove the extra option. If you would like to add extra context to your scale or give your scale a custom score, click plus Edit Headers or Custom Scores. When you do, you'll notice extra boxes at the top of your scale will appear. If you click on each box, you can add extra information. If you add the exact same wording to 2 separate boxes that are next to each other, the header will combine over both of them. You'll also notice that there's another set of boxes underneath for score. As you can see, 145 automatically attributes scores to each option, starting at 1 for the first option, then 2, etc. You can change that by clicking on the box, changing the number, and then clicking away. Click Save and the question will be added to the form. Now hover over the space after the question we just created and click. You'll notice that the element type defaults to Likert question and it shows the same scale we just used on the previous question. This makes it faster for you to add many questions in a row which use the same scale. However, if your next question is a different type of question, simply select the question type from the drop-down menu. If it is also a Likert question but uses a different scale than the last question, you have 2 options. First, if this is an entirely new scale that hasn't been used previously on the form, simply edit the scale you see before you and save your question. Second, if the scale is the same as the one previously used on the form, you can click on Choose a different scale, and when you do, a box will appear which shows you all the different scales that have been used on the form. Select the one you wish to use on this question by clicking on the radio button to the left of it. The box will close and the scale will appear. Click Save to add your question. One word of warning: if you choose a previously used scale and then edit it, it will edit the scale for all the questions that previously used that scale on this form. Here's a useful trick when it comes to creating Likert questions. If you're creating a bunch of Likert questions and then there's 1 or 2 non-Likert questions, and then you go back to using the same scale in some more Likert questions, it can be more efficient to skip the non-Likert questions and continue creating all your Likert questions. Then you can come back and insert the non-Likert questions in the middle of the Likert questions. The reason this is more efficient is because each question you create will automatically give you the same scale if you're adding it after a Likert. However, if you try to add a Likert after adding a paragraph question, you'll have to choose the element type and scale again. That's about all there is to know about Likert questions. Please check out the other form building videos and training resources, and you'll be a pro form builder in no time.